Hello, welcome to the stream. AJ and Chris, how are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. Matt, how are you?
Too bad, thanks.
Good.
Well, a bit under the weather, but I'm all right.
Yeah.
How about you, Chris? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Marty's all right as well. You gonna say hello?
Monty, yeah.
Marty. Go on.
Marty. Marty, isn't it? Yeah, Marty.
Oh, Marty, yeah.
Future.
Sorry, not
Back to
Monty.
the future. Yeah.
Where do you get Monty from?
I'm surprised you didn't consider Einstein.
No, I like to be different.
Considering that was the dog, yeah.
Yeah, we were thinking of two, and obviously this was Marty, and then we wanted to get a bigger one and call him Doc, so it'd be Marty and Doc. But
yeah. Oh, all right, yeah, that would work. So obviously, yeah. So you got Marty for your one from Back to the Future, Brody from Jaws,
yeah.
and I've got Storm, which wasn't from the X-Men.
Oh, okay.
It just fit the colour of the dog. And she responded quite well. So there we go.
Yeah, cool.
Let me just open the window a bit.
That's all right. Yep, so welcome to everyone watching. Yeah, we're back. It's been a while. So we thought we'd come on and have a chat. No specific subject, but well, there's a couple of things I thought might sort of have a chat about. Recent films, upcoming films, a couple of things that are sort of whirling around my head at the moment. One is to do with space and sort of how you deal with your collection. And I'm at a point where I've just got no space left. So I'm starting to think of how I can sort of make my collection reduce the size of it, either by colouring it or maybe getting some, I don't know, plastic bags to sort of make those Blu-ray cases, the standard Blu-ray cases, a lot smaller. And then there's the other thing is just the sheer choice of different releases now for the same films. I think that's just something that just seeing more and more of, and you're spoilt for choice. And I keep finding myself double dipping or wanting to double dip, but then I'm stopping myself from doing that because I'm realizing that I have lack of space. But is this something else that people are doing? They're just falling into the trap of double dipping. But why are we doing it? Are we doing it just because of the artwork and the extras? Because I don't really think we're doing it for the film, are we? Just a couple of things that are buzzing around my head. I mean, is there anything you want to chat about as well?
No, not really.
All right, bye then.
No, we'll come to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Space, the final frontier. I think Chris is the one who's best off for space, definitely. I've lost a lot of space having moved. I think my room's probably about 30% smaller than what it was. But as you know, I have got plans to alleviate that by building a man cave, so to speak, at the end of the garden. But when I say building, I mean properly building, not like here's a shed and you go in it. I'm talking like, what I mean,
proper room,
yeah, essentially. Although I've got to do it with wood, and I can't have it brick. I can't brick it, so it will be wood. But there's paneling on the outside that I can get to make it look like a proper. Do you know what I mean? And it'll be insulated inside. It'll be. Do you know what I mean? It'll look like a proper. You wouldn't know it weren't brick without. No, makes sense because it'll be covered with plastic paneling. It will have double glazing, door and window, etc. We'll have wiring going into it, and all that sort of thing. And it will be the width of the garden thereabouts, and I've got to figure how the depth of it yet. But that's because then we get the bedroom back in here. This gets cleared out. We get the bedroom back, and yeah, that's the plan. But that's not going to be for a while yet.
No. Now, is that something you're planning on building yourself, or are you going to get one? Because I know you can buy these sort of, they call them pods now, don't they? You know, there are companies out there that will put these pods. They're not brick, but like you say, they're wood and plastic and this kind of thing, fully insulated. Because obviously, the main thing you've got to make sure is that you're not going to get any damp in there. Because you know, if you're going to put all your collectibles and your physical media in there, you don't want it going damp.
No.
So,
No, it'll be. I'll build it myself.
oh, okay.
I will build it myself. Yeah. It'll probably take a few months to do. It ain't going to be an overnight thing. It'll be done slowly and properly. Design it first, and yeah. I've had other family members that have done similar. They've done, you know, they've built things at the end of their garden themselves and turned them into. Yeah, they got TVs in there, they got a bar in there, and things like that. So it's just doing that, the equivalent of that.
Yeah.
It's yeah. No, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I can recommend. I bought, because I had this conservatory got renovated this year. That was the big project for me, and obviously put a solid roof on here now because you get a lot of rain noise and heat, you know, getting really hot in the summer, cold in the winter, and it's not completely eradicated any of that, but it's a lot more manageable now. And I've recently bought one of these controllable heaters. Now you can control it on your phone. So you know, when you do get your build done and you get to the point where you're looking at heating solutions, you know, I could recommend something like that, because again, you're probably not going to be able to plumb direct central heating into it. You're going to have your own kind of heating in there. But I looked at a lot of different options, and this little unit is cheap to run, and it's fully controllable, and you can set it to come on and go off at certain times. You know, certainly in the winter months, it's not such a problem in the summer. But yeah, I'll let you know how I get on with this winter.
Yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I always like to share a little bit of knowledge, you know, as to, you know, something that's worked or hasn't worked.
It's just all up here at the moment, and it's because it's the wrong time of year to even be starting something like that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, on a lot of your videos, you've been saying you've still got a lot of stuff in boxes because you haven't. Is that because you haven't got the room, or you just haven't had the chance to get this stuff out and put them on the shelves yet in that room?
No, the boxes are primarily. I mean, there's probably a few films kicking around, but boxes are primarily comic books and stuff.
Okay.
And bits and pieces. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got about 11 boxes still in this room to 11, 12 boxes to still unpack, get through.
Yeah.
It's just being lazy, and also other parts are, you know, taking precedence. Other parts of the house taking precedence.
Yeah, you just have to get to these things when you can, you know. Only so many hours in the day, and you know, when you're working full time and stuff, you have to fit it in around all of that, don't you?
You do, yeah. So it'll be,
Yeah. What about you, Chris? I mean, obviously we've been to where you live, and you've got quite a nice little setup there, haven't you, with that sort of garage conversion that you've done?
Yeah.
Is there any further improvements you'd like to make to that? To sort of, I mean,
yes.
I know you're going through a process of sort of moving over to Blu-ray from DVD. Yeah, you want to chat about that?
Yeah. So obviously, anybody who doesn't know, obviously I converted my garage. My garage is a trapezium shape, so it's a little bit of a kind of between 2 cars, and that's where I make it mainly. I keep most of my space except for anime, which is behind me there. But yeah, there is some change coming. So there are some bits in there that I would rather they be somewhere else. So next month I'm buying a shed. So very adult of myself, so they can go into a shed. And just having a massive kind of clear out. So the roof in the garage is full of just boxes. As AJ would know, well, or mainly know, he doesn't remove a lot of his toys from boxes, but I do. So you just store boxes after boxes. So I'm going to have a big purge of them. Going to hopefully bring in 2 new bookcases into the garage, and a Calyx. So that's the 8 boxes. Yeah, and I have one of those in the middle. So I'll have some comics some side and then figures the other, so I can kind of, you know, highlight them and take pictures and stuff. So, and then there's going to be a small culling as well of the collection. Not as drastic as AJ's, but I'm going to go for that mentality of, look, what do I have? If it's cheap, if I'm not really going to watch it, or like series, if I've got like series 1, maybe it's worth just getting rid of the DVD and buying the Blu-ray box set at a better time and stuff. So, yeah.
So let me ask you, what do you do with your, like, every time I say to you, Chris, have you got this on Blu-ray? And you're like, no. And so I send you it.
Yeah.
What do you do with the DVD version that it's replacing? Have you still got them shelves,
yeah,
so
I've got most of those. What I did with the brother-in-law, I've carbo from time to time, not very often, like once or twice a year. So I just take them, like with Friends. When I dated, I know you didn't give me Friends, but I bought Friends on Blu-ray, and I managed to sell the complete DVD box sets for like 4 or 5 quid to someone. So I'm trying to make a bit of money, and try and find it, because you know you don't get much in CEX and charity shops now. So I'm just trying to sell them at car boots, and like I've got full sets of stuff. So, and I'm getting them a lot cheaper than CEX's prices. So
my problem was, every time I upgraded, like I've got the Blu-ray, but every time I bought like a special collector's edition or a steelbook or a whatever, of standard 4K of a film, I never done anything with the old one. It just always sat on the shelves. And that's, you know, I'm aware that my culling, a lot of it was made up of, I've upgraded this, I've upgraded this, I've upgraded this. But I mean, the one thing that the good habit that I've got into after that culling is that every time I buy something that's an upgrade, I get rid of, for the most part, I get rid of what came before. So argument's sake, that World War Z special collector's edition, I get on to, I know you've got it, Matt, but I get on to Chris and I say, Chris, have you got World War Z on Blu-ray? He's like, no. I say, oh, well, you have now. So I get rid of them. I get rid of them that way. Chris is like my dumping ground for dumping.
No, I appreciate it. Obviously, it's really nice for you to give it. I mean, I say the DVD, most of the stuff, if I upgrade it, if it's worth over £1, I'll trade it in CX. But most of them are, like CX prices. If you've seen them, it'll be like 4 or 5 quid, and then they'll give you like 50p, and because they've got so many copies of it. So
I
think it helps now. Listed a couple of things on eBay this morning. Only just one double actually, because you gifted me that Rocky collection, AJ. So it's got all of the Rocky films in it. But I discovered I must have picked it up at a charity shop, Rocky Balboa on Blu-ray. So I looked online.
The one with a nice gold leaf into it.
That's right. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Oh no, I sent you that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you mind? I'm selling that if you don't mind, but I didn't realise that.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. Got yourself in it there. He's selling something that was gifted to him.
Oh no.
He's selling it. He's been caught. He's been caught out.
Have you got that one, Chris? Have you got that?
I think I've got the DVD box set of Rocky.
Oh, okay. Are you looking to I mean, I can send that to you.
If you want to sell it, Matt, sell it. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
I was obviously, when I gave you the Rocky Balboa box set, the Rocky side of the Rocky box set, I was aware that I'd given you the.
Oh, okay.
Balboa.
Sorry.
But it's the fact that you don't remember this. That's what's hurt.
so many different. I mean, there are certain ones that I do remember. You have given me a lot of stuff. So, yeah. Sorry about that. But anyway, what I was saying, obviously with eBay now being list stuff for free, you know, you don't pay anything on it. I think it's worth maybe trying to sell a few things, because, like I say, I went on CEX, and like you say, even Blu-rays now, like they'll give you a penny for them, and you're just thinking, well, you know, I'm not going to take it in there for a penny.
That's not worth it.
So, no.
I
So
mean,
you're either going to gift it to somebody, or maybe I don't know whether
the only reason they offer you a penny for it is because they don't want it. They don't want you to take the penny. They don't want you to come in with it. So they offer a penny because it's not worth your time or effort.
No. And I guess we saw that very much with DVD with CEX, but now, like you say, they're doing it even with Blu-ray. I don't know about 4K yet, whether there's any 4Ks that, would just trade in for a penny.
It won't be long if there is, because there are some very cheap. I mean, you go and see. Let me have a look. I'm actually going to look because I know that the movie Incredibles 2 sells 4K, sells for £2.50, unless it's labelled up wrong. I've seen it for £2.50 in 4K in CEX. Let's see how much they give you for that. Incredibles 2 4K. Blu-ray 4K Incredibles 2. Okay, so it's up to £3.50 now. It was £2.50 when I saw it. It's £3.50 now. So they must have sold one somewhere that made them up the price. That's generally what they do.
Yeah.
It's like that Terminator 3 steelbook I bought. I had to look back on there to see if I had any more come back in stock. I don't know why. I did no reason. And they didn't have none in stock, but the price of it had gone up from £25 to £30.
Wow.
Okay. No, they give you 50p trade-in cash
for a 4K.
For Incredibles 2 4K and £1.10 £1.10 voucher for it.
Yeah.
So there are some that hit that low point.
Equally so, there are some DVDs, and I think you've mentioned this, Chris. Certainly, you say the anime stuff that actually, it's very difficult to find, and CX commands still, 8-10 quid or whatever it is for a DVD.
I think, there's certain areas of DVD like anime, most definitely, which Chris can attest to, and I think a lot of TV stuff as well. Some of the TV stuff becomes harder to find because I don't think this stuff has the multiple prints or the print runs that your standard general films do.
No,
and that adds to the, when you've got certain TV shows that have never made it to Blu-ray, like Buffy, Angel. Do you know what I mean? They're probably quite cheap to pick up, to be honest. But do you know what I mean? It's only option of owning them.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm planning on doing, as I say, I'm pretty much running out of space now, so I'm considering those Blu-ray steelbook plastic sleeves that you can get, the really thin ones. They're not like the
I've got a load there. Yeah, those things I use them. I don't buy the expensive ones, too tight.
I'm thinking of just with the standard cases for Blu-ray, sort of taking them out of the cases and just putting the sleeves and the disc inside those, because I did it with a load of DVDs, and I reduced the size from probably like 2 storage units, which I got rid of, down to like a shoebox. And that's incredible amount of saving on space. So whilst my collection, I don't have a huge amount of Amaray, it's mainly a lot of steelbooks and collector's editions. The ones that I can do, I'm thinking, well, at least I can create a little bit of space. But I'm very much like you, AJ. I think going forward, it's gonna have to be 1 in, 1 out scenario now, because I'm just at that point where space is a premium.
It's nice doing that. It feels nice. It feels like you got an element of control. I mean, I don't do it with everything. Don't get me wrong. Most stuff, though, I think 90% of stuff. Although I won't. Like, for argument's sake, I've got the Nightmare on Elm Street. I've got 3 times. Okay, so I got the collector's edition. the recent 4K collector's edition. I've got the previous steelbook that came out to that, the Blu-ray steelbook in like that comes with a slip, and I've got the complete box set, which I was lucky enough to pick up in where is it? I don't know. It's down here somewhere. I got that there as well, the 7 movie box set, which I was lucky enough to pick up for the price of the standard. It was like, it wasn't, I got it cheap. I got that cheap in CEX in my one. It was a bit tatty, but you know what I mean? But that was priced up not as the collector's edition. It was priced up as something else, and I paid a silly price for it. Which is always nice when that happens.
Did that have the booklet in it about the first film that you popped in the steelbook set?
No,
or was
the
that
booklet,
something else?
that booklet came from the edition that I gifted to Chris.
Oh.
I kept the book. I thought, that booklet's going to go nice into one of these. Yeah. No, this here just comes with art cards for each of the films, like poster art cards.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'll pick that up. Just it was cheap. A couple of times I've been lucky enough to go in CEX and pick up something, you know, where they priced it up wrong. The other one was Nightbreed. I got the collector's set of Nightbreed, which was I don't know where it is now. I have it somewhere. You know, Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Yeah.
And that was priced up just as the standard edition as well. Same CEX, funnily enough. They obviously didn't know what they were doing properly, but there we go. Which is, I suppose, easily done. You know, but yeah. So, yeah, things like that. So I have considered, should I sell the other steelbook, the Blu-ray steelbook? But I don't know if I want to, because it's quite a nice steelbook.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's another subject I want to come on to in a minute, which, again, is buzzing around my head at the moment. But I'm just going to jump in the comments, because we've got quite a few comments actually coming, which is nice to see. Appreciate everyone tuning in at this sort of early time on a Sunday morning. So first off, we've got Scott. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott. How you doing?
Yeah. We went to London last week and saw Batman Unmasked. Yeah, really great day that was.
It was indeed. I did say Scott should join us when we meet up again.
Yes.
As well, why not? Nice fella.
Yeah, I think, well, next time I'd say it'd be my turn to host. So, yeah, come up to Peterborough. And, yeah, Chris, you better meet Scott as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, cool. And just a little plug, there's actually a video on my channel showing you an exhibition of, well, full tour. So, yeah, go check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, Batman Unmasked. Like I said, I'm back there on this Saturday coming again.
Oh, are you this Saturday coming? Oh, cool.
Yeah, with my son.
I might bump into you because I'm going to Covent Garden, not there, but round the corner.
Yeah, let us know. I'm up there. Yeah, it is the 26th, isn't it? Yeah,
26th. That's right.
Yeah. I'm up there around the same sort of time. I think I've got it booked around the similar sort of time. And then I'm going to go for my free coffee.
Oh yes.
From the fella when we went into Chris, we went into Frankie and Benny's where we went.
Yeah.
Because I knew it'd be pretty quiet in there, and it was quite early. And you know, the geezer in there who's the manager. At the end, he came over, asked how we were and how it was and all that sort of thing. Then he said, "Do you want a coffee on the house?" And we were leaving, so we didn't. But I said to him, "I'm going to be back in here in 2 weeks' time." He goes, "I'm in every Saturday." He goes, "Well, I'm going to want my coffee then." He goes, "I'm going to get my coffee then when I come back in." So we'll see if I can get that coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm up there again for Batman. That's only because I should have thought about my son first time round. I didn't, because he's a big Batman fan. You know, as a young lad, he was he loved playing the games. You know, he played all of the Arkham games and this sort of a thing. And I know that in one game the Joker died, and I came into his room and he's like weeping. He's like, well, what are we crying for? What's wrong? He goes, Joker's just died in this game, and he's like upset by it.
Oh, bless him.
You little sociopath, you. And yeah, and so I should have really thought of him first time round. So I'm going a second time, really for him. But it'll be good because I filmed it the first time round myself, and I always come away feeling like I've not really seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it through the eyes of a camera, most of it. So I'm not really taking it in myself. And I used to do a lot of photography, and you know, I've got you know, a really nice camera that my wife bought me, and I ain't used it for a while. I should get back to using it, but again, I started to feel the same thing, that everywhere I went, I would photograph stuff, but I didn't feel like I was experiencing it myself. So yeah. Anyway, there we go.
Yeah, I did that. What I tried to do when I filmed it, I filmed certain sections, and then I took the time to actually look myself, because, like you say, it's very easy to just get sort of sucked into looking from behind the camera, but then not actually experiencing it yourself.
Yeah, exactly the same. It used to happen to me when filming in CEX for the channel. Going to CEX, you'd film, and then it weren't until I'd done like the voiceover, the editing, that then I actually saw what was there, and I was like, oh damn, I missed that. And I missed that because I'm looking at it through that.
Yeah.
Got into the habit of looking first, or filming first and then looking again.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
We got Roger. Hi, Roger. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Roger. How you keeping, mate? Hope you're well.
We've got Luke's World of Movies and TVs. Hi, Luke. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Luke.
Morning.
We've got Phil with a double L.
Hi, Phil.
Double dippers. Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably the minor one on the side of that.
Yeah. Got Movie Mad. Hi, mate. How you doing?
Good morning.
He says eBay fees are better being zero. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it certainly. Yeah, you'll probably see more people selling stuff on there now. Certainly at the moment, until I've heard that as next year, a bit like the likes of sort of Vinted and Etsy, they're going to be doing like a buyer protection sort of fee that you pay. So actually, from the buyer's point of view, prices are going to go up a little bit, but obviously they're trying to encourage more people to sell on eBay, because obviously a lot of people were selling them on eBay have gone off to Vinted or Etsy or whatever. There's loads of them, aren't there?
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace, things like that. Why would you know, those fees, they're painful. When you sell something, then you lose a bit on the fee. It is painful, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. I always tended to try and wait for like an offer, sort of a 70% off selling fees when I did ever sell anything. But when you're sort of 10, 12%, something that's 40 quid, say, you're talking 5 or 6 quid that they're taking before and then you've got your postage that you've got to factor in as well.
At least now, or when they've stopped now, obviously with the fees, but at least they got to a point where they were taking their fee straight away. It used to be back in the day that it was like once a month. Yeah. So you'd sell excessively, and then you have a bill come through at the end of the month for like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 quid.
Yeah.
For all the stuff that you sold fees. And it was a time when I sold quite a lot on eBay, when I was getting rid of a load of stuff, and it's always like you never put that. I was really bad at putting that fee money away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when it came, it had to come out of my own bank account, and it felt like, it felt like a real hit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Although one thing just to note, as of last week, eBay now, if you sell something on eBay, it doesn't. Whereas it used to automatically go into your bank account within a couple of days of selling it, now it's sitting in eBay's system, so you have to go in and actually withdraw the money.
Oh dear.
So, as of the 16th of October, they've changed it, which personally I think, I don't know why they've done that, because I preferred it the other way, because it was just an automatic thing, went straight into your bank account, no messing around. But yeah, they've gone and changed it again.
Well, it probably, if it sits around, if people, you can imagine some people probably sort of leave it there to build up, which is fair enough. But what it also does is it allows eBay to have it sat in their bank accounts, generating interest for them. Because they've got to try, and it's just a way of trying to get a bit back from the losses of the the fees.
Yeah, because they must be taking a huge hit on that. You think, 10-12% every purchase. I think there's certain exclusions, like if you sell cars and something else, which there's an exclusion on, but they must be losing a lot of revenue by going fee free.
Most definitely.
But I guess they've got to do it because their competitors are doing it. So it's either that or they lose out because the competitor takes over, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Do you sell much on eBay, Chris?
I used to sell a bit, so probably from the toy channel. I did a series where I tried to sell some stuff and didn't get much. I'm not going to go into more details about that, but I landed it, and I only got given I think 40 quid in cash, 50 quid in trade, and then I ended up selling it all for about 500 quid, and I've still got bits of it left. So I kind of documented that and what I was making, being transparent with the fees and everything. So I took off the fees off that 500 quid to show that it's worthwhile, that people, when you're selling stuff and buying stuff, sometimes if you don't know what you're buying, people can try to have your pants down. But eBay is a weird and wonderful thing. So obviously I can't go too much. So I bought something for Matt for Christmas because I'm Nat on the ball, and it's in a little box, and some muppet wrapped it in bubble wrap and put it in a post, and the box is absolutely battered. And literally when it turned up, I commented, I was like, this is supposed to be a present. How am I supposed to give this? And the person was like, well, just send it back to me. And I'm like, well, if I send it back to you, I am then out of that money for postage, because I'm going to have to send it recorded in a box to make sure it gets back to you. So I got him to knock a bit of money off, and I'm just taking it out of the box. So a bit spoiler there for you, Matt. I won't tell you what it is, but
I can tell you what it is. I can tell you what it is. Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
It's a Funko Pop.
Might be.
And it's probably, I know. Wait, what have you got already? You've got Superman. You've got. Is it Batman or Wonder Woman was the other one that you got? It was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The Batman Funko Pop. Right. The reason I'm saying that is because you said the box is knackered, and so I can imagine a Funko Pop being just wrapped up in bubble wrap like that, because it's quite small. And Matt's got the two of the Trinity, but not the third, and it's probably so. I'm
AJ's quite good at guessing these things.
Yeah. I remember there was once when Matt had gifted me. Was it my birthday, Matt? And we done a live opening. Done a live opening every gift.
Yeah,
I pretty much guessed what everyone was before I opened it. So, so you could tell me offline if I'm right. I think I'm right. I think it may not be Batman. It may be another Funko Pop.
Yeah.
But
I'll send you the pictures, AJ. I'll send them to you now, so that way,
go on then.
So he can see. But I'm not saying anything to Matt. He can.
No.
I like ruining Christmas and birthdays. So remember that when it comes Christmas and you do this opening, Matt, you can say, AJ pulled this one back in November.
Spot the surprise.
It'll either be that or it'll be something like The Crow. But I'm going for Batman because well, I'm not going to say anything. When Chris sends them to me, I won't say anything.
You should have them now to see if you're all right.
Fortunately, Magpie almost always price outprice individual sales. That, unfortunately, Magpie almost.
It's always outpriced.
What do you mean by that? Unfortunately, Magpie almost. I guess Music Magpie certainly heavily discount, don't they? You know, a lot of stuff. I mean, I bought a title on there the other day. It was the cheapest of anybody. Blu-ray for like £2.40. So I think that's what you mean. Certainly, and World of Books, both of those pretty much price match each other, don't they? What I tend to do is just undercut them by a penny or two. You know, but all the psychological. The other thing I'd sort of say, when it comes to CEX and you trade stuff in, obviously the trading value is more than the cash price.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you're trading stuff in, yeah, the voucher is more appealing. But should we not just take the cash, because you're still then left with that voucher? I mean, I'm guessing as collectors we will use it, but I don't know. Sometimes you think, well, should I just take the money and run? What do you think?
I think the difference is too great. Being a collector, obviously, it's normally like about 20-30% more. And for me, being a collector, I'm like, well, yeah, I could take, say, the 20 quid, or I could have almost 30 quid in trade. And that's probably more useful for me. Otherwise, I'll probably spend it on something that I don't want.
I kind of, because where I've done my culling, you'll see this next Saturday. Next Saturday is my final sort of culling video where I run through the receipts of what I've got rid of and how much I got and all this sort of a thing. And I created 2 piles. So dependent upon, well, I created 3 piles actually of stuff, and it's dependent on the amount that CEX give to me. So for argument's sake, if the stuff that was where it's like 1p and 10p, it was like I can't even be bothered taking this stuff down. So I stuck that into one pile. And then the second pile was made up of stuff where cash wise they would give me something like 50, 40, 50, 60, 70p up to about £1. And I'd have that there. And that stuff there I would trade in for a voucher because I'd get more for it in the voucher than the cash. And then the other stuff where the financial cash value seemed better, I had there. So I ended up coming away with both cash and voucher as a nice sort of split. And yeah, I didn't want to take all vouchers, even though it'd be more, because let's be fair, I go into CEX now and it's few and far between where I see something that I really want. And so I probably end up buying stuff just for the sake of buying stuff. And I do remember being in a CEX and seeing that they had the 4K set of Pirates of the Caribbean behind the counter, which was really cheap for the 4K set, considering it was all the films in 4K. Then I said to myself, hold on a minute, you've got them all on Blu-ray. How often do you watch the Pirates of the Caribbean films? You don't, because let's be fair, they're quite overstuffed movies. Do you know what I mean? They're not really straightforward watching movies. They're very, very stuffed movies. And I thought, no, but that's how I felt when I had, with vouchers, is that you end up buying just for the sake of buying.
Yeah.
Got the voucher. And then, so I felt I had a nice, sort of juxtaposition between cash and voucher at that point.
Yeah.
But that will come to pass in the next video, next weekend.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I would say the way I'm sort of trying to I mean, I've probably got about £25 worth of vouchers myself. And what I'm kind of thinking is that I think when you know you've got a voucher, you're kind of keen to spend it, aren't you? But I think the best way for me, is to try and hold on to it as long as you can and use it for almost like for new releases that are coming out, and rather than going to HMV or eBay or wherever, Zavvi or wherever, why not just wait a couple of weeks and then you've got 20 quid voucher, you can buy a new release, and it hasn't cost you anything. Rather than, like you say, there's always the temptation to buy stuff that's a bit cheaper that maybe you wouldn't necessarily pick up, but you're just sort of spending it because you know you've got this voucher sort of sitting in your back pocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Has AJ just got in from a night out?
Why is he saying that? What?
I think it's your shirt.
I just grabbed what was in the wardrobe. I thought to myself, I'll stick a shirt on today.
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Look a bit more grown up. Yeah. Hi, Gareth. How you doing?
Yeah. Thank you for the shout out, Gareth. He did his little Welsh video rental video. He's doing those at the moment. So if you comment on certain videos he's done, he'll give you a shout out. But he does it in his Welsh video accent.
Yeah. It made me look like a pervert in my one.
Oh dear. So yeah, go and check out Gareth's entertaining videos. He was mad. Luckily, he was tripped of agitator radiance set. What's that? Alligator, is that, or agitator? Don't know. You know what that is? Agitator radiance?
No.
No. It was 15 on Amazon. Trades in for £28 voucher. Ash at Popcorn and Horror. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you, like you say, you can. Yeah, so you could buy it. You could buy it on Amazon and then trade it in for more on CEX. I guess. Yeah, I guess, like I say, if you're on a budget for buying physical media and there's ways around it, like you say, you can then use those vouchers to buy new releases, that up and coming, and saves you buying it sort of cash. Good idea. There's a name for that. I think it's called something. There's a particular name for doing that where you kind of flip it. You buy it on the in a store, and then you can flip it either on eBay or, like say, CEX and get more money for it. Can't think of the term of it, but there is a particular term.
Right. Yeah, I see it a lot in CEX, but they haven't bought it elsewhere. I used to see people come in with loads of the 3 or 4 of the new release.
Yeah.
Which they just half-inched from Sainsbury's round the corner when Sainsbury's done physical media, coming in there and trading it in.
Yeah.
They know in CEX, they know that these have been stolen. And they still take them. They don't care.
No.
They're happy. They know. It's obvious. I'm stood there and they're trade. It's like, look at the person who's trading this in. Right, the film's only just come out today. There's only one way you've got 3 or 4 copies of this release. You've nicked it from round the corner, from Sainsbury's, which is like 100 yards in the shopping centre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, New Adventures of Batman Blu-ray, £4.30 on Rare Waves, trading for 10. Yeah, so you're doubling your money, aren't you?
Yeah.
I guess that's a voucher. That'd be
I
voucher.
ordered that, didn't I? It was £6 when I ordered it. Or is it? No, that was with the postage, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. But I ain't got it yet. I ordered that. It ain't come through. Where it is, I don't know.
Oh. Gary Hedger, thanks for joining. I wouldn't do that if you'll get disc rot. Okay.
What's that? Is that me doing a external thing?
Ah, okay, yeah.
I'm talking about you putting them into
wallets. Yeah, I think that's
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Something to do with the. What's that?
I've not had it happen, but I don't put them in wallets. But I know what you're talking about. He obviously the case protects it, doesn't it? At the end of the day, so putting it in a plastic wallet means there's an opening for moisture and stuff to get in there. I'm assuming that's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I've not experienced disc rot, and I've got a load of DVDs that are just left in that I depacked and put into spindles, like the way you used to buy burning discs.
Plastic.
You'd have the spindles, and
Yeah.
I've got DVDs in there from some where we're going back 20 odd years now. Yeah, obviously these some of these DVDs are from the early days of DVD, so we're talking 25 years old, and some of them I when I found them in a box, I put in to see if they'd still play the other day, and they were fine. So I don't know, you know, disc rot is something that I've not experienced, and these things have lived up in boxes, in spindles, in the attic for over 10, 15 years.
Really?
They're still playing.
Yeah.
No issues with them.
Yeah, because you think, you know, storing physical media in the attic. I mean, you know, in the summer it gets pretty warm up there. In the winter it gets pretty cold. So, you know, those discs are going through rapid temperature changes, aren't they?
Yeah, they're seeing the extreme of temperatures. And where I was for the past 12 years, I was in, you know, my bedrooms were in a converted attic anyway. You know, you can imagine the temperature that they reached up there. It was stifling.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've never, even at my old house, when I had my old house in, and we moved in about 2003. All of it was stored in the attic. The attic was mine. It wasn't a converted attic. I laid down flooring and that, but it was all stored up there on shelves. And you had streams, and it's disc rot is something that I have never experienced.
I've seen it on a few discs, but
I mean, the way I see it, right? If you have got 200 films that you've decanted into
plastic sleeves,
right, and then you took like a comic book bag, right, and Crystal, you know, you take a comic book bag, so like that, yeah, which is obviously larger than. Yeah, and then you take, what's that, Last Ronin?
Yeah. So
that's the latest. Is that the latest one?
No, that's the 4-part series.
Oh, the Lost Years. Are you getting the new one? You getting the Last Ronin 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little crap.
Let's see. I did actually get a variant cover for it.
Very nice.
That there. Sorry, we digress into comic book territory. Yeah. Oh, look. Chris. I know that's. I had to get that.
Springer. Nice.
Anyway, where was I? So you've got a clump of them, maybe 20 films, and then you stick into something like that, right? And the fact that they're compressed, it's much akin to what I do with comics. See, I don't keep comics in their backing boards. I don't do that. I have done with all the Punishers, but I don't keep comics like that because the amount of space it takes up when you've got the backing board as well. I actually put 8 or 10, well, about 8 comics into one bag. So, right. So you got to run like that in one bag, and the fact that it's a solid unit protects itself from spinal damage and protects itself. And when you're putting films into, you know, and you're compacting them, I don't see how you're gonna suffer disc rot when they're compacted like that.
No.
Into a thing. If you've got just the odd film laying around in them, you may get it. But if they're on a shelf compacted in tight, I don't see how you're gonna disc rot would affect.
No.
My opinion, like I said, I've not seen. I've got spindles there because they're in front of me. I've got spindles of films, and they're the ones that I'd started putting in and have a look at. A lot of them are region 1. That's why I was looking at whether, seeing if they still played and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It does, but I mean, your fingers itself, Matt, proves that you create rot with your little.
My X-Men mutant fingers.
You touch something, it just decays straight away. There is probably a hero. There is probably a villain with that. Chris, there is a villain with that sort of power, is there not?
I imagine there must be. I know in anime there is a person who decays, but Matt looks nothing like him.
No, power. He's got the power. He touches a steel book, and it just the rust just forms. It crumbles.
Take him to a scrapyard, just like.
But no,
I've seen it on other people's videos though. I've seen the little rust spots on others, so it's not just me.
Oh yeah, right. But no, you're saying that. You're saying about, like you're saying, Chris. You know, the case, the air getting to them and things like that. What about a release like this? A digibook release. There's nothing preventing the air getting in. And I would argue that a film that's, let's see, I'm just grabbing whatever's in front of me. What film's that? Bad Santa there. I would say that air's more likely to get to that disc there and moisture than if you put them into plastic sleeves and they were compacted, because you've got the void within, and that's not an airtight or moisture container. But putting them into them bags and compacting them, you're creating more of a less chance of air and that to get in. See what I'm saying?
I would have said disc rot is probably more of a manufacturer error. There's been a batch of films produced, and I think Warner Brothers were very much a culprit of this, because essentially what it is the layers, isn't it? The layers on the disc that break down, and eventually, I think, doesn't it actually come away from the disc itself? I don't know. I have seen it on a couple of discs, but it's not something I see very much.
I mean, I don't mean to say that it doesn't exist. I'm not denying that it exists. All I'm saying is that I've not experienced it. I mean, let's be fair, right? I've got hundreds of discs in this room. There could be discs stuff. There could be discs suffering disc rot, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't, I'm looking over the way, right? I've got like. My TV section is opposite me, and I've got things like the Pretender TV series, the Dead Zone, Buffy, Angel, right, Moonlighting, Lex, the sci-fi series, etc. And these I haven't opened and looked at in some of them maybe 20 years. So they could have disc rot, yeah, most definitely. But I wouldn't know it until I get to it. I just know that. I've not experienced it with anything that I've gone back to.
Yeah. Reading on Wikipedia, the official explanation is basically oxidation from outside sources or ultraviolet light. So I suppose a clear wallet, if you had it on a wall in a room and sunlight went on it, rather than a case which should protect it from direct sunlight. So
yeah.
See, I was in okay, so there you go. So I mean, I had, my old house, not the one I was here before this. I'm talking about back when I was married to my first wife. It was all in the attic, sunlight. I mean, even in the place I came from here to here, my room, I had blackout curtains, which were always drawn. I never let sunlight come in to that room. Sunlight's a big thingy.
Yeah,
I know that. But yeah, I would always prevent sunlight coming in and hitting anything. Because I didn't like it when, you know, I used to get it when, you know, I've had it back in the day where the spine, you know, where you do have them on a shelf and the sunlight gets them and then you realise it's bleached. All the spine, that winds me up. It bothers me. That does. I hate bleached spines. So, yeah. And so I wouldn't have let sunlight touch.
I actually had, I mean, before we had this roof done, obviously it used to get quite hot in this room. And we did used to have a load of kids' DVDs when the kids were younger and that. And what happened over time, that they were in like a shelving unit, but the spines, as well as going faded, the actual plastic all started to crack away as well. And literally, it was just flaking off. I mean, there were, you know, I got rid of most of those because I don't know, probably the disc inside was all warped as well. But not a good idea to leave discs in direct sunlight or in a really warm room. It's not a good idea at all, unless it's within a box or a, you know. But even then, you've got to be a bit careful, I suppose. But now with this room, hopefully, it will be a bit more regulated with temperature, not so much the extremes. So, yeah. So Phil says here, he says he's just got some new shelving, more space for more titles. Wanted the shelving as a display thing, but worried it will just lead to keep hold of more because there's that little extra space. Well, there is that, isn't there? Yeah. Obviously,
I think that's yeah. I saw Phil's last video where he was talking about extra space. It was when he had the video where he had all the boxes to open, all the deliveries.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it in that a bit, about this area behind him, and in one bit of it, and I think that's what I think you live. It's like people. It's similar to living to your means. You know, you get people who get paid and you live to your means, and you run out of that money every month, then you start again, sort of thing. Similar, isn't it? When you've got the space, you live to that space. So if you've got more space to fill, you're more inclined to get more to fill it. You know, at the moment, like I said, where I'm not picking up so many collectibles and things like that, because I've realised that space is now an issue. So I've got to stop somewhere, and it's collectibles. Not that I won't get a few little bits here and there along the way, but not to the extent that I was, most definitely. But then if all of a sudden, you know, if I did build this, or when I do build this thing in the front in the garden, this pod or whatever you want to call it, and all of a sudden I have got more space, will that then lead me to say, yeah, when I go out, I can say, oh, I can get that now because I've got space for it.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it, aren't you?
You know, you're feeling issues of space, Matt, but I'm pretty sure that if you were all of a sudden, you know, you did one of your bedrooms opened up for you to create a space, you'd feel more inclined to fill it. Yeah, you would. You wouldn't be second guessing. I don't know how Chris feels about space, because Chris, you've got a lot of stuff, but there's got to be a breaking point. There's got to be a breaking point where you say, you know, this is getting out of control. Where do I put this now? There's literally no more space.
Yeah, that's why I'm moving stuff around. I say you'll see videos coming up in the foreseeable few months of me changing the garage around again, and kind of I have a more long-term solution, hopefully. But yeah, it will get to a point of every year I do this to make more space, and obviously it helps with upgrading a lot, because obviously I'm reducing the size of DVDs to Blu-rays and stuff. But yeah, it will come to a point I'll be like,
in my mind, I'm thinking more your toys and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I've been quite fortunate. I've never really sold any of my toys on. I picked up spare ones that I've done. But yeah, because I kind of go for sets, it's they'll probably be easier to sell. But yeah,
no, but it's the actual where you get to a point where you think, you know, I physically cannot get much more into this space. Much more. I can't physically buy much more because the space just isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think because I work off lists, I'm very fortunate. Like, I'm not just buying anything and everything. I normally have this is what I want, and I keep limited. I think, and if I didn't have those lists and we're just like, I'm use Transformers, there's so many out there and so many different lines. I mean, yeah, I'd easily run out of space with what's out there now. And because I kind of have these guidelines, it helps me. Yeah, there will come a point I'll finish the lines I've done, and then I'll want to do more lines and be like, oh, I've got no space, and that is an issue at some point. But hopefully there'll be other things in my life that the money will go to instead of toys and things. But who knows?
I'm gonna crop that bit. I'm gonna take that bit of video right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crop it into a short where you're saying, well, I've done the lines that I've done. And stuff like that.
Yeah, I probably guarantee you next month I'll probably already be like, I've picked this up because it was a £5 and it was cheap.
No, because when you take out either side,
yeah,
you've done the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know, but I'm sure it's a good thing you're not a Star Wars collector.
Yeah, very very little on Star Wars and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's never appealed to me. Same with classic He-Man, but who knows? They keep reiterating stuff and doing new versions like Masterverse and stuff, and that appeals to me. So.
Cool. Yeah, there's another thing that's been buzzing around my head in the last sort of few days, and this will probably AJ will be able to relate more to this probably than you will, Chris, because I know you very much. I know you're dipping your toe into the steel books now, but you're not really one for wanting to go down the collector's route yet. I say. There could be time.
I do have a collector's set on order. Funny enough.
What's that then?
I'm not going to say. It comes out December. It's
okay.
Related, so I will wait for the time. But yeah, it's I think the Pacific Rim set with the badge. If you count that as a collector's set, that would be my first. And this is a proper box with movies and loads of other stuff in it. So
you mean
start something new.
Yeah, but there's a reason for me getting that, and I'll explain it because
that one.
Yeah, that one.
The
Titans of Colt.
Yeah.
That's actually a nice steelbook in that. That's got a very nice steelbook in it, with all the very very subtle, It's like a blueprint, isn't it, of one of the it's very subtly embossed. All the lines of the blueprint, so it very very subtle embossing for the whole thing. It's really nice.
Yeah. What I want to discuss is the vast choice that we have now. I mean, there's so many collector's sets coming out, and we're seeing collector's sets reissued multiple times. But also what we're seeing now is very much a lot of custom stuff coming onto the market as well. So people are realizing there's a market for this stuff. And you'll know, AJ, I've sent you links to stuff. On Etsy, we're seeing, slip cases now custom slip cases being created, custom slip boxes, almost to make your steelbook or Amaray or whatever it is more premium feel about it, with multiple different variations of artwork on all of these things. And it's becoming, from my point of view, it's almost becoming a bit overwhelming, the choice that you've got now. There's so many different variations, and like I say, with space, you've really got to kind of seriously sort of think, I've just got to go with one version here, because I can have we're both guilty of it, buying multiple versions of the same film, but we're not actually buying it for the film, we're buying it for the artwork, we're buying it for the extras, and all this kind of thing. And do you think we're at that point now where there's just such a vast amount of choice, whether it be official manufactured stuff, which they're clearly doing multiple different versions. I mean, I'll give you an example. Last night I went on to Amazon Italy and I pre-ordered the 10th anniversary edition of Interstellar, the nice box set, which is sold out on Zavi and HMV. I still think it's available on Amazon. They were doing a special deal on Italy, but I had to cancel it because I do have Interstellar on 4K, you know, and I just had to stop and think, hang on a minute, why are you ordering this? You've already got the 4K, you've got a nice set that it goes in, it's got art cards, etc., blah blah blah. What's driving you to buy, you know, to order this other edition, which, yeah, it's got posters in, it's got another documentary on it, a retrospective, which again I think that drew me in, and there's a booklet in there in a nice, you know, package and all the rest of it. But I mean, the deal that I would have got, it would have cost me about 45 pounds, whereas I think it's retailing for 49.99. Yeah, 50 quid. So I managed to get a good deal on it. And again, was that my driving force behind it? I'm thinking, oh, actually, I'm getting a really good deal here, far better than if I was to go, you know, to Amazon UK. But I had to stop myself. I mean, I thought about it overnight. Woke up in the early hours, and this stuff's going through my head. I'm thinking, why are you pre-ordering things that you've already got? I need to get out that mindset of. Do you see what I'm saying? Especially when you've got like limited amount of space, you really got to make decisions as to what edition speaks to me, and just stick with that one edition. Now, what do you think of that,
Chris? Do you want to?
Oh, I thought I'd let you go because you're more of the...
Well, I will say that Chris isn't immune to this. I mean, he is immune. I think Chris will have experienced this in the comic book world. He's you know, I mean, like I just showed you, you know, I've got that there, which is Last Ronin 2, issue 3. And then I picked up a variant cover for it as well. So I've got the same comic book there with different covers.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same. The interior is exactly the same. And I think, Chris, you know, you said the other day, Chris, yourself, that you don't really go for variant covers. Yeah. So you're quite good in that respect. I'm quite a sucker for variant covers. You know, one that I always get thingy for is Vampirella. I always generally go for a cosplay photo variant, but every now and then I'll pick up a variant cover for it. So I'm quite a sucker for variant covers on comic books, and if I like the cover, if I like two covers, I'll generally get both covers. So Chris isn't, you know, he's got a good take in the comic book world of just picking up one. But just a question, Chris, when you pick up one, do you not care what the cover is that you get, or do you say, I want that cover? That's the cover I want?
I would probably say 99% of the time, I don't care. Oh. When a series is coming out, I'm like, just put it on my list. And I think it's a few Transformer series and that have had and G.I. Joe will have had like 5 issues and it's all one front. And if that issue is what I got first, I'm like, can you try and make sure I have the others?
Yeah, connective.
Sometimes it's a bit more money, but most part, not really.
I think this time of year, Matt, and I've said this is always a perfect storm time of year for releases. You know, I have noticed over the years that it does start getting heavier and heavier this time of year, and it stands to reason that this time of year is, you know, next year we'll be talking about the same thing, and it'll probably seem heavier than this year. But when you're coming out of summer and you've got all those summer releases being released, because the summer's the
Yeah.
biggest time for releases. You've got those new releases coming out on top of all the stuff they're pushing out for Christmas, which is special edition releases.
Yeah.
Combined with Halloween as well, because you always
Yeah.
see a up of horror stuff around this time of year. You know, you've got this coming together of three separate entities, being summer, Christmas, and Halloween, all
Yeah.
combined into one to create this you know, this influx, this tidal wave of this tsunami of releases that seem overwhelming. And then you hit January, February, and it just slows down. It's like calm before the storm again. And so that time of year, the time of year doesn't help for that reason. And yeah, but it's a shame that, you know, a lot of them are titles we've seen before. You know, you know, they always go for stuff that, you know, another version of this. Oh, there's another version of this. You know, we are being taken the mickey out of in some regards. When you take a look at something like a Mad Max Fury Road, just as an example, right? We're talking about the UK here, so it comes out with a steelbook choice, right? Everyone goes out everyone who wants Mad Max Furiosa goes out and picks up Furiosa, and then a couple of months later, or a month later, you have the announcement of 2 other steelbooks having been released that have previously been released anyway on Italy, Amazon Italy. So why, you know, they're holding back on these titles to get you again. And I fell foul of, you know, I got the UK, as you know, because it ended up with you, the UK steelbook. I then preferred the one in Amazon Italy, and I got that. And I got the black and white one, the you know, the Furiosa Blood and Chrome edition. And then now you've had the announcement of a five you know, a 5 thingy collection
tin
in a tin can, in a, you know, a petrol tin can for 110 quid or whatever it is, something like that. Why not give that option at the time of release? Why not give people, say, okay, let's release that at the same time as Furiosa hits the market, we'll give that choice as well. No, because they want everyone to buy it, and then they want that to come out and look as, you know, be appealing, and for everyone to buy it again like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's all marketing.
Back in the day of VHS, it was generally only Star Wars that was the one that Star Wars was really the only film that really got re-released and re-released and re-released. You know, you had your standard release, then you had your widescreen release, then you had your another release, then you had your special edition releases. Do you know what I mean? It just kept going and going with Star Wars. It was like they kept milking that franchise, those original 3 films over and over again. And now it's just more and more of the same film, and there's so many films that are still crying out for a you know, like 4K release. You know, Terminator 3. It's the only Terminator film that hasn't got a 4K release. Well, give us that. The Lethal Weapon films, give us that. Superman Returns, give us that. Do you know what I mean? There's all these films that are crying out for these upgrades, and yet you get, you know, I don't know, whatever.
Well, like you say, the Mad Max
thing. It's what, sorry?
Like you said, the Mad Max. You know, it's you had the steelbooks that came out. You had the cine editions that came out. You had the standard edition that came out with the nice covers. I quite like the Amarais. Like you say, and then you got the individual steelbooks. Now you've got, obviously, on the back of Furiosa, that you've got this tin edition. So they'll milk the franchise because it's relevant, it's current, it's relevant, it's in people's minds, so it's fresh in their minds. So they're going to say, okay, well, let's bring back all the other films because that, you know, draws in that franchise. So they're going to milk it.
Yeah, and it's taking the mickey out of collectors, to be honest.
Yeah,
but there we go. But we're the ones that drive it, because
we are. Yeah,
you know, I mean, I'm not me, not you, but or Chris, but we as a collective group of people, a lot of people will go out and get it.
yeah. But on top of that now, and this is prevalent in the last year or so, and you know, we both dipped a toe into it. Is the custom side of things as well? People creating these, you know, small businesses on the likes of Etsy and eBay and whatnot. They're creating custom slip covers. They're creating these custom boxes. You know, and some of them are really, really nice designs. And as a collector, you start seeing these other options available to you that aren't official releases, and you know, you just spoiled for choice, and you think, well, I want that, but I also want that.
I think that I think you're more into that than me.
Yeah, probably. I'm a bit more of a magpie, I think, than you.
I mean, the good thing is,
nice shiny things.
Yeah, I don't look for them. I don't go
No.
on it. I don't look what's available. Yes, I know I got 2 Batman slips and I got the Alien slip, which are nice slips and nice artwork on them. But generally, I don't see this stuff now until you show me. You sent me the other day. You sent a link to them slip covers that I completely ignored. You know, the boxes or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I know that I've delved in, and that will come to pass later down the line. With these other bits that we've sort of ordered together. But it's something that I don't feel, it's something that I feel that if people weren't showing them to me, I wouldn't go looking for them. I don't go looking for them. So I don't see what these new, you know, these people have put up new in the way of slip covers and things like that. I don't much care.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, right? It's all going to end up in the same place. You know, it's not going to make you rich buying this stuff. No. Right? Your return on it is, you know, if I buy something for I don't know, let's argument say if I buy something for 30 quid and I can sell it for 40 quid, I've only made a tenner. That's all I've made out of it. You know, that's not going to be rich. Selling this stuff, keeping this stuff sealed, keeping this stuff isn't going to make anyone, you know, if they think, you know, they're collecting for for every title that, you know, and it's the same as comic books, you know, and Chris probably the same here. You know, I mean, I don't collect comic books for worth. You know, worth doesn't really come into it. It comes in because I enjoy it. But I have been, like, when I was younger, I did speculate. You know, during the 90s when you had all these new releases coming out, new characters, you know, shiny embossed silver cover, you know, Silver Sable issue 1, Bloodshot issue 1, Ninjak issue 1, all this sort of stuff, which was chromium cover, and you buy multiple of them, you know, or buy 3 or 4 of them just in case. Ultimately, they all end up in you know, you don't get much more from what you paid for them if you get anything more from what you paid for them, if you're lucky. And the majority of the stuff you buy ends up in a bargain basement bin, which is exactly the same as all this stuff here. All these films, all these special editions are, you know, you may have the 1 or 2 that carry a little bit of worth, but ultimately the rest carry a loss. So you haven't made anything. You know, in fact, you've made a loss. Yeah. You made a loss. And when you consider, you know, for me, if I kept all the stuff here that I've got and I made a little bit of money on it, right, each title, and it got, would it make up for the money that I've spent through the years on VHS, on DVD, on the standard Blu-rays? It wouldn't. Ultimately, I've come out as a loss. No. You know, so anyone who's thinking, oh, I'm going to, you know, this stuff's going to make me rich, this speculation mindset, you're in for a bit of a shock. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you might have, out of every couple of 100 films, you might have one that's, it got a bit of worth.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, go on.
So you need to collect because you want to collect because you like it, not for, you know, the worth side of things. But yeah, with these like these custom made things, it's not going to make your titles worth anymore at the end of the day.
No. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it, and again, it's like a steelbook. If there's a steelbook design that comes out, it's like, just for, say for example, like Signs 4K. One of my favourite films. Absolutely love it. I've got a very, very nice Zavvi Blu-ray steelbook of it, the embossed cover, etc. I don't like the new design, the steelbook that they're really awful, horrible design. I can't stand it, so I won't buy that, even though it's the 4K.
Yeah, that new steelbook isn't reflective of what the film is.
No, that was a promotional picture that they did at the time, and I don't like it.
Where they're trying to, it's like you're trying to that poster is a lie.
Yeah,
that poster implies that I'm watching an alien invasion movie.
Yeah, well, you are, but on a small scale.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. That's what the overall story is, but it's not what that poster conveys. That poster conveys an alien invasion movie like
Independence Day.
Yeah, with the world there, with the big thingy on it. And what you're really watching is you know, a story that's much akin to a home invasion movie.
Yeah.
And more character driven about essentially the whole story is about a man who's lost his faith and his journey to rediscovery of his faith. That's what the fundamental story of Signs is. The alien invasion part is second to that, but that poster on that steelbook implies that the film is something far different than what it actually is.
Yeah, but for me, it just, not a good that artwork just doesn't do anything for me. I just think, no, I'm not interested in that. However, if one of these guys on Etsy was to produce a very nice slip box with some nice artwork, which did appeal to me, I would be very tempted to get that to complement a steelbook that I have, because what I have got is, I really like. But yeah, I'm at a point where I've got to really make decisions as to, well, which way do I go? Do I get this or do I get that? Because I can't have both, and I've got to be really strict myself going forward.
I think the problem is,
and I'm sure a lot of people are like this, but that some people might think, no, I've got to have everything because, this is where the temptation comes in, isn't it?
I get the temptation. I think you've got to grow beyond that. I think when you're, the thing is, when you're paying 15 quid for just someone who's made a slip box or something, my mind is that's 15 quid I could buy a new release film with. A Gamma Ray new release film. Do you know what I mean? So luckily I've not delved that into that slip box kind of bit yet.
No. Well, I've bought two. Might potentially get another one, but yeah, I think.
But then what are Manta Lab and things like that, if not essentially custom made?
Yeah, it's premium. I mean, they're official releases that are obviously manufactured with licenses and all the rest of it.
They're custom made.
I mean, I am quite interested in those because of lenticulars. Again, I do love lenticular covers, so I am drawn to that to enhance what I have already, and I've done that on many occasions. But yeah, there's obviously now these sort of independent people that are latched onto this. Well, I can design something which is going to appeal to a collector, throw some art cards in there, etc. I feel it's just exploded. The whole collector market has, really exploded from even 10 years ago when we were just getting standard Amarays. Then as Zavvi flooded the market with the steelbooks. And now we've gone beyond that. The steelbooks are just like an ordinary release now, aren't they?
Well, that's what editions are becoming now. Just feel like them, because not a week goes by that you ain't got one.
absolutely.
So the minute it becomes like that, the special has been taken out. There's no, it doesn't feel special. You know what I mean, Chris? That's just a question with you, because I know you don't delve into this kind of thing in the Blu-ray world, but in the comic book world at the moment, you are seeing these DC are doing it, Marvel are doing it, these foil cover releases.
Yeah.
Do none of them tempt you at all?
So to be honest, I'm quite out of the comic book kind of scene. I go to my comic book shop and then whatever's advertised in it, I don't really reach or read much like we used to back in the day with Wizards and stuff. I try and not really keep out of it. I don't know. I think I've had that mindset for probably like 8-9 years now, and that from comics and stuff. Like I've been in it since I was a teenager. Like it's almost 30 years now. Like I was getting a bit sick of it when I hit my 30s, and then obviously Marvel movies came out and everything else. And as you've said in your videos, like you notice what is in comics now is more movie related and stuff. And I think even when you sent me the Batman thing, that I'm just getting so sick of it. Like I still get my regular comics. I like to support my regular store, and I still enjoy some stuff, but I'm nowhere near in it as I was. And I kind of dipped my toe in it. And
what Batman thing?
That was you sent me a Batman and Robin cover DVD Blu-ray thing on our WhatsApp, and I said I'm not into it. Blue background.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what it was for, but yeah, I just part of me is getting just so sick and overwhelmed. And I know people are sick of the movies anyway with Marvel and DC, but when you've been a comic fan and been immersed in it for another 20 odd years, I just kind of want to step back a little bit because I don't want it to ruin the whole experience of comics, where I just go, do you know what? I'm going to stop comics altogether. And
I think that the film industry has ruined the comics. It has stifled it massively because they have to, they don't appeal to the comic side of it. Has gone from being made for the comic collector to appealing to the film viewer, just to try and get that sale. Simple. That's it. So they've got to make them. They've got to make the stories and the look of the character with the costumes be much akin to what the individual is used to from what they've seen from the film.
Yeah.
And and while you see new readers jumping onto comics, they don't have the longevity. They don't last.
Yeah.
But what you're doing in turn is you're upsetting the original, because you'll notice I don't read many a comic that's attached to a film now. If it's a comic that I have more appeal with a character that is not prevalent on TV or in comic, because I know that what I'm reading isn't being written for people who have seen that on the screen. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. So it's all similar. Like I've said before, you get all these fancy Dan releases in film and TV, film releases, but you get the same thing in the comic book world. It's exactly the same. You get special editions, you get director's cuts of comics at times, which has got some more stuff in it. You get polybagged comics that come with bits and pieces inside. You get your lenticular covers, you get your shiny foil covers, you get your spot gloss covers. I've seen it. It's been
it's replicating what's happening with
the 90s. The 90s were big for it. The 90s, in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, that's when this became big business for comic books.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a sort of revival in part of it now. You get these metallic covers, wraparound covers, and things like that. So everything that we're talking about, Chris, even though he doesn't do it in film, he can relate to the comic book.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't read. Obviously, you don't have Wizard magazine anymore, but I don't read previews. The only way I know what's coming out is that I'll go onto eBay and I'll type in like week 43 WK43, and I know that it'll bring up everything in my comic shop that's out for week, whatever week, so I can see. And I generally what I do is like now today I'll look for this week. I don't look much ahead, and that's how I know when. So I don't know in advance that there's something coming out. I don't know when there's a new first issue of something. 90% of the time I don't know. It's just when it hits, I see it. I had no idea Dynamite was doing a new Terminator comic until I saw it on eBay. But there was a new Terminator comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you got both covers, or 2 covers I saw.
I got 2 covers. One, I got the Alex Ross cover because it's Alex Ross. And the other cover, I'll be honest, I bought in the comic shop in Bromley because I was there, I looked in, and I wanted to read it. I picked it up, knowing that the Alex Ross cover was there for me down at my comic shop.
Well, there's quite a few comments coming in, so I'm just going to jump back onto those. The Movie Man says he's doing the cooking whilst watching. What are you cooking?
Prepping the Sunday roast.
Yeah.
We've got Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Just popping, not on YouTube much anymore. Oh,
No.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, don't see much.
Taking a break for mental health reasons. I hope
Fair
you. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. I hope you.
Yeah, she's not the only one. There was a guy in America I saw. He did a video this week. The name escapes me now, but yeah, he's taking a break, and he just the amount of backlash from his comments, and he's like, he has his wife on, and he says like even when he reads all the comments, he says someone's slagging off his wife, and I'm just, I think people forget, and this is what I commented on. I said that I know people see us weird, sit in front of a camera talking. I said, but it's like a second job, the amount of work that goes into it, and obviously you want feedback, and you read all the comments, and you try to be nice, and there are people out there that just want to upset people, but you can't, because most of us are nice people. We're doing this to just share a passion with the community. We do take stuff personally, and it is I don't think people understand how big of an impact it does, which is why you see quite a few people. I mean, AJ can probably easily contest to it of how he had to take a break, not for this reason, but I'm pretty sure how big his channel is. There's a few people that just put comments on there that you like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, I think you have to be thick-skinned to a point to be on social media. You're always going to get people that are going to sort of insult, criticize, etc. And everyone's entitled to their opinion, but don't necessarily have to reply all the time to these people. So it's how you deal with it, I think, which is most important. But yeah, I mean, if it's affecting your mental health, then you need to take time away from it.
Yeah, definitely. My view on the channel has changed over the past 4 weeks, as you know, as we've discussed out of here. I'm not hung up on it anymore.
No, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't care which way it goes. I've completely separated it from, now I'll build up. I'll have all comments build up, and then I have to go through them. I used to be on the ball with comments, and now, 2-3 days later, I still ain't replied. I do reply. I do get into them, but it's a lot slower process now. And, the urge to film something beyond an opening, it took me a while to film the top 10 horrors to get round to doing that. And yesterday I did film that, and I filmed my top 10 horror adjacent, which is going to be next Sunday. But do you know what I mean? It's just like it's not as it was.
No, you just do it when you feel like it. I mean, we've not been as regular with the streams as well, but again, it's all down to people's availability, and we've all got things going on. He's doing it when everyone's available and everyone wants to jump on, and have a chat. Like you say, we're we don't get paid for doing any of this.
No.
You know, there are a few people out there that do make YouTube successful, you know, and all credit to them. But for the majority of people, it's just you know, I mean, this is a social outlet, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we're coming together as people that enjoy a passion for collecting, and we just like to chat about it. You know, and you know, in the past we couldn't do this, so it's a great platform to do it on. But above that, you know, if you're chasing monetization and subs and all the rest of it, it's, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy to do that. You know, and it's not really what I'm about. I'm just on here just for a bit of fun and you know, like-minded people, meeting like-minded people and just chatting about film. You know, in a good way, sensible way, and yeah, we have a bit of banter and that, but you know, none of us sort of want to get sort of into arguments, or you know, it's just a grown-up discussion, isn't it? We don't, you know, we might not necessarily agree on all the points. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but it's just discussing it in a mature way.
Yeah. No, I say yeah. I totally agree. I say in physical media, I say yeah. If you've got to do what you've got to do for you, and hopefully you get better soon and are in a better place. So.
Absolutely. So, by the gods of science fiction, he says, "Hi guys, great stream. Thank you very much. Just wondering, did any of you pick up the 4K set of the Bourne 20th anniversary? I'm guessing that's the Bourne collection. Did you pick those up, AJ?
No. What he's talking about is, don't know if you can see it. This collection here. It's like a rucksack.
Okay.
With like little binocular thing, compass, dog tags. I don't know. I see one on there for 72 quid.
Wow.
No, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all.
So does that have all Bournes? So Reiner and
no, my guess is it's just the. No, it is all 5 films. Yes, all 5 movies on 4K.
Okay.
Digital code, certificate of authenticity, full-size backpack, monocular, keychain with compass, and 2 dog tags. £72.
Wow.
No, I didn't get that. No. I did get I picked that up cheap for the first film, the Steelbook edition that came with the thingy. Okay. But no, I didn't get the backpack one. Yeah. Luckily, all my special editions are sort of sat there beside me. I can reach them. No, yeah. But yeah, 72, yeah, all 5 films on 4K, £72 with all that stuff. I suppose that's fair enough considering they're 5 films, 4K.
Yeah.
No. Would I get it? I ain't got a room for that sort of thing now.
No.
Yeah. I've got the I've got the thingy there, the bloody Big Lebowski bowling ball bag.
Okay.
And that like it annoys. It doesn't annoy me, but it's there. It's like where'd you put this? Where'd you put the same as the Pixels thing that I've got?
Pixel, yeah. I remember you saying you got a bit of buyer's remorse on that one, didn't you? Why did I pick this up?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's all right. It's up there. It's up there. It's fine. But yeah, it's not because of the film. I love the film Pixels. I think it's very good. You know, I think it's a very funny film. The character. I think it's a very funny film. But yeah, so it's just where do you put this stuff? That's the problem.
Yeah, this is it.
A backpack. You know, you ain't gonna take. What am I gonna do with a backpack? I'm not gonna use it.
Put all the DVDs you're giving me in there.
Yeah. But I'm saying I've got a question for Chris actually.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I just watched your review for Transformers 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, and obviously you had a little moan up in that review.
Yeah, it wasn't aimed at you.
No, that's fine.
But I know. Yeah, okay, yeah, go.
All right, so Chris done a review for Transformers 1, and I think he obviously there was a bit of a release delay between US and UK on the movie, being that it came out over there about a month or so ago. We've only just got it
Back
over
in a
here.
Mm.
And Chris was fed up of hearing everyone's praise of the film. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly
Knowing
right.
that obviously a lot of people had seen it bootlegged online, downloaded, which honestly, yes, that's how I saw it. Right? I'm not going to lie. And then you were saying about, you know, you probably won't get a second one because of the film's take-ins, etc., etc. Do you think, honestly, that the film, because I don't, would have done well enough to warrant a sequel had it had people not watched it bootlegged and gone cinema to see it? Now, their release strategy is strange on that one because obviously the companies know that it's going to go online, it's going to hit line, people are going to see it. They know that it's likely going to impact, you know, where you've got a month delay between US and UK, that it's going to impact take-ins in other territories, right? Whereas a lot of films are generally released simultaneous. But do you really think the film would have gone on to make that much money to warrant a sequel had that happened? I mean, I love the film. I thought it was very good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. I'm like you. I liked it. I mean, my feeling of it is the exact same way I was with Dune Part 2. I mean, I love Dune Part 1, but there was so much stuff around. We live in a digital age. Like, you know, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, there's stuff going everywhere about it. And I was just going to say, because it got leaked earlier and then America got it, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks before we did, and I didn't see it. I must have had, say, 5-6 weeks of just constant, here's Transformers, here's pictures of this is really good. And it kind of, you get sick, and that's what I was annoyed at. Obviously, I think I said in my video, like, however you decide to watch it is down to you. And it being linked to a toy line, you know, it can make more money, because I think that's Power Rangers, the last movie that came out that didn't do that well. The toy sold amazingly, and it actually made money from that. I'm a bit surprised why they put it not in summer. That for me, so far later in the year, because I mean, it come out, and then we've got the Wild Robots now just come out. You've got Paddington in a few weeks, and a few other digital fun movies. But I'm just like, you're not really giving it a chance. Putting it in a better time, putting it better, and I say, and I think there was a lot of hype because obviously this is the first animated movie since '86, and stuff like that. And I think everybody that's been to see it likes it and has said it's good. But I just feel we are getting to a point where, you know, the hot topic is physical media is dying, and you proved it in the stats. The amount of physical media that is being sold is obviously decreasing. So we are heading that way. We also all can agree that when it comes to streaming, can you remember a lot of the movies? Are they really any good? You know, the money's going up, and people are complaining, but by the pirating very much heavily of this and ruining a lot of stuff, like, we're just putting ourselves in an environment where, say, 5-10 years time, you know, we're going to have this discussion, and we're like, there's no cinemas, they've all closed, we're stuck streaming sites, we're paying £100 for like 3 streaming sites, and they've got barely any content, and it's rubbish that they just pump out, and it's our own fault.
But do you think that you know, do you perceive that as being the fault of the bootleg market? Because I don't. No.
I mean, like, I have got a few bootlegs. I don't really mention them just because I don't want to get in trouble, because I know there is that aspect. But, you know, but I kind of go on the concept of, if something is really, really expensive, or they didn't produce it, or like, I think like you've got it, like series where they didn't, and I'll use it, like Dharma and Greg. Love Dharma and Greg. Watched it when it was on TV in the 90s. They only produced season 1 and season 2. So I have 3, 4, and 5 because that was the only way to get it. And I'm I understand that, and I don't see a problem with that. When you're ripping off something that's already out, there's maybe a different.
All right, let me rephrase what I said. Let's forget the bootleg market, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about. I'm talking about like the sort of online illegal streaming.
Okay, yeah.
Where these films first appear, right? Because I don't, that's always been in existence, right? For as long as can be, one way or another. Back in the day of VHS, it was, you had your Asian looky people come round with their bags, the shops and that sort of thing, and you had, you go into marketplaces and people would be selling dodgy VHSs before that, and this sort of a thing. My point is that and I've said this before. Do you not see? I know you're big in. You got a cinema pass. You go cinema one hell of a lot. I don't go cinema too often, right? I've watched films on download illegally before they come out. They're just there. They're there. So easy to do. Just click of a button. But do you not think that part of the problem is the release strategy? My point is, right, is that, okay, let's take Joker Folie à Dire as an example here. That's just come out in cinema, not a couple of weeks ago, right? And it's hitting streaming in about 7 days' time.
Yeah.
29th of August, that film is available on streaming, right? Because it flopped, right? So a film flops, they turn it around as quick as possible for streaming. Let me just shut that. They turn it around as quick as possible for streaming, and it's online, so people can watch it there. Why am I going to go cinema for the next big film when I know that if I'm patient and wait a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, if this film isn't a hit, I'll be able to watch it streamed on TV?
No, I mean, I understand there's a convenience and there is an evolution from it. My standpoint has always been, and I know that the guys will contest, look, I live 5 minutes away from my local cinema. I have a Cineworld pass. For me, it's probably the ideal situation for any movie lover.
Yeah, I get that.
But my precedent is I always want to help the community and cinemas, and which is why I will go see brand new films, because obviously that's where they get the figures from. And I know someone will say, well, you pay 11 quid a month and that's it. I said, but most times if my Starbucks is open, and I'll contest it a lot, I think the second or third, it might have been Joker, I paid 15 quid in Starbucks, which is owned by Cineworld. So the price of almost two tickets, when I went to see that movie, because I try and give something back to it, because I am somebody who will sit here and go, look, I love movies. I love the cinema experience. And I want to support that in my best way. I agree that convenience and lifestyle and people's, kids today, they short attention span, and that's the way we are going. I'm just frustrated, and as a person, I like to be an advocate for the cinema, and that's.
That's I admire that.
But that's circumstantial as well.
That's commendable, right? Yeah. But my point is, general people, general audiences, why should I go cinema? And I'm playing devil's advocate here, but why should I go cinema to see a film when I know that in 4 or 5 weeks' time I can watch that at home?
Because
why would I go?
Because you want the experience, the sound, and everything else. And I think being in the cinema rather than being in your house is two different things. Yeah. Matt's setup might be a little bit different.
Yeah, but you're making arguments. You're making arguments for what you get at the cinema rather than at home. My point is that given people's lifestyles, given, you're not telling me why I should still go to the cinema. Well, my point is that you've got a you've got a counterintuitive release strategy. You've got the cinemas fighting with streaming.
Yeah.
Right. Cinemas are never going to stay alive when your film turnaround is 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
You're never gonna. One of them has to give at some point, right? You're not gonna keep that alive with that kind of a strategy, right? Back in the day, it was a case of, you know, you had your cinema release, then a year later you had a VHS release. So your cinema release of a film was an event, right? You know, you go back to like the 1990s, right? Or 1980s, you know, RoboCop, something like that in the cinema. It was an event, right?
Jurassic Park.
Park was an event. Then you wait X amount of time, and you know, all of a sudden you see it in the windows of the VHS stores and that sort of a thing. It's an event again. So you get excited about the film all over again because you saw it in the cinema quite some time ago. You loved it. You want to see it again. It's finally coming out. You get that excitement again.
Yeah.
You can rent it, and then however many months after that, you get certain people get a level of excitement again because I can go out and I can buy it, right? But you've lost that now, and you've condensed that time frame down to something that is so small that you're fighting. You've got both entities which should work in tandem to one another, right? The cinema and the film companies make the film, they release it in a cinema, then they release it digitally, and they release it physically, right? It should be one entity all making this money. But my point is that you've created a situation where these two entities are fighting. You know, it's the same goal to make money for the same film company, etc. But you've created a situation where the two entities are counter opposing one another. It's like turning two magnets around, and you've got this force battling one another. Because my point is why am I going to pay X amount of money to go cinema to see this film when I can pay X amount of money, let's forget the illegal side of it, in a few weeks' time to see it at home, where it's less inconvenient? Forget the fact that the sound system, I'm still watching the same film. I may not get the same experience, but I'm still watching the same film. And let's be fair, right? The cinemas are so over bloated, overstuffed with new releases week on week, right? That it is a battle between themselves as well. And people aren't going to be paying to go and see multiple films. So in turn, a lot of these people will say, okay, well, I'll go and see this film. I may go and see that film. Those ones in between, I'll wait, because I ain't got to wait very long. And then it gets to a point that you get used to that waiting. And then you say to yourself, I was going to go and see that film. I think I'll wait. I won't bother. And it gets to that. Do you know what I mean? So you've got these two counterintuitive release strategies battling it out. So again, under those circumstances, general audience members, I'm not talking about people who are heavy into film. Why should I go cinema to see a film when I know that I can watch it on a streaming site in 4 or 5 weeks' time?
Yeah. Problem is as well is the whole way that I think films now are funded. You know, that you've got investors that are investing. You know, I mean, take Joker 2. What was it? £200 million to make that film.
Crazy,
It didn't even make half of its budget, I don't think. Whereas Terrifier 3, I think it cost them $3 million to make it, and it's made half of the budget of Joker 2 already in 2 or 3 weeks.
Horrors always does always tend to make good money because they do get made on the cheap. Why Joker cost that amount of money is beyond me.
Yeah.
And you know, it was made as a sort of illegal money laundering scheme or something. I don't know.
Tax write-off.
Yeah, who knows? But I mean, it's just, you know, I admire your passion for trying to keep cinema alive, Chris.
But yeah, it's not.
But I think that you're flogging a dead horse.
I said maybe I am, and I totally agree with what you're saying. And I don't like it, and I say it is the experience. Say I like to support it, and for me, it's if I sit at home, I can guarantee you probably half through movies I'm doing this and not really paying attention, whereas cinema forces me to. But it's circumstances and stuff. So, but I unfortunately, yeah, it's one man against the world, and and I'm probably a dying breed, like physical media, but.
No,
I'll be there. I'll be there when they're knocking it down. Like
no,
like
I still think there'll be.
Oh yeah,
I'll always. No,
go on, sorry.
Like I say, I think there'll always still be a place for cinema, but again, it may be a niche market. It'll be an experience. You know, take the BFI in London. You know, that massive IMAX screen. You know, it's an event to go and see. I know we went to see Dial of Destiny, and it wasn't the best film, but I still enjoyed the experience.
AJ said it was the best nap he ever had.
I had a nice sleep during that.
Yeah, but you know, it was an experience for us. You know, never been before, and you know, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, I think for the average film goer, unless you've got like your situation's ideal, where it's just literally 5 minutes down the road, you can pay a monthly fee to see however many films it is, unlimited. I don't know. My situation, I would have to drive a good half an hour's drive to get to the cinema. They don't do a monthly pass. They do a special offer on a Monday. But again, it's not very convenient. You know, you've got to make a special journey to go there. And from my point of view, it's got to be a really good film, an event. You know, I went to see Dune Part 2, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, it was great on the big screen. But a lot of these films, are, like AJ says, I can wait and watch them. I mean, I'm lucky I've got the 85-inch screen, you know, but, you know, for a lot of people, it's just watching it on their televisions.
I think we've reached a point now where the studios, the releases, everything has come together and combined to create films feeling disposable.
Yes,
because they are to the companies. You know, they put the film out in cinema. The film fails. You know that, you know, in a few weeks' time, there it is on streaming somewhere. It hits some sort of digital site, right? And you know, the physical release isn't far behind. Then not far behind that is sales and second-hand market. You know, you've created a situation where new movies, they're not special, they're disposable. Films have become a disposable commodity. I think it's sad. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, Transformers 1, I watched it. I watched a pirate of it. Yep. I loved it, and I've got the steelbook on order.
I don't like the steelbook. I'm hoping for another one.
Yeah, so
you like the design? You know, I thought it was really good, actually. Quite enjoyed. Thought that was a good design.
I'm still supporting my money's still going with 2. And as for the bootleg kind of thing, I can tell you now that the bootleg, and I predicted this. I predicted this back in when it started. The bootleg market was dead, and there was a revival with the bootleg market when Marvel and Disney stopped. Started releasing this stuff on Disney Plus. There was a revival of the bootleg market there. And I said at the time, if you remember, Matt, I said it won't last long. You know, these companies know what they're doing. Disney Plus knows what they're doing. They're going to expect a revival of bootlegs, and then bootleg revival will slowly go like this. And I can tell you now that bootleg revival has gone down, in part because of Disney releasing the steelbooks for Star Wars and Marvel stuff, and also in part because the quality of the Star Wars and Marvel stuff has turned to crap as well. But it was those that were driving it. So that's pretty much back down to being dead again. But again, it's interesting because I said that I don't see Marvel releasing all of these steelbooks, that we haven't got announcements for the next Star Wars or Marvel releases. I don't think that we're going to get many more.
No.
So it will then, that your bootleg market might take a slight upturn again before it goes back down.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it? I mean, again, you know, Disney now, they're putting up their prices for streaming again, you know, and they're putting adverts on there. It's becoming less appealing for people. You know, I mean, I've seen it on YouTube. There's people saying, oh, you know, I'd rather go back to physical media, you know, because I don't want to have to pay to watch adverts. You know, I just want to sit and watch a film. I mean, we have it, you know, with Netflix. I mean, last night we watched, my daughter wanted to watch the you know, the new Halloween trilogy, the 3 films. So she wanted to watch the first one. So we watched it, and, you know, halfway through it, and then up pops an advert, and you're like, oh, it's taking you out of the film, you know. But, you know, I mean, we only pay the basic subscription on it. So you got to put up with that. But whereas if you watched it on Blu-ray or 4K, you wouldn't have that issue. You know, you'd be totally sort of in. And that's one good thing about the cinema, which is great. I mean, it does annoy me that you go to the cinema and you know, for the first 20 minutes you've got adverts before you even get to the trailers. I guess you could turn up a bit later, but at least you're not getting interrupted halfway through the film. You know, you're getting that full experience. And I think streaming sites are going to have to be a bit careful, because if they push it too much, people will just, you know, they'll just cancel their subscriptions, and they're going to start to see a downturn.
Yeah, you probably will, but I don't think you're going to see much of an upturn in physical media.
No,
it ain't going to happen.
Not for the not for the masses.
You know, I mean,
it's the collector market that's keeping it alive, isn't it?
It is. I mean, let's go back to the bootleg trend again, right? So all of a sudden, people realised we're not going to get this stuff. We're not going to get this stuff, so I'm going to turn to bootleg. And your thing, and part of it now is also people have got used to the fact that some of this stuff isn't being released, and they're now used to it, so they don't mind. It's become just accepted that this stuff isn't being released, and that in turn, and the same goes with the physical media, proper physical media sales. You're going to get a few people saying, "Oh, I'm going to return to physical media." They'll probably return if they return for a limited time, and then because it's as it is, it's dying. You know, you don't need stats to see that physical media is dying. Stats you don't need it, because your high street tells you. You know, there's not so many places you can step into and buy it. You know, there's reasons. Why doesn't Sainsbury's sell physical media anymore? Why doesn't Tesco sell physical media anymore? Why, you know, did HMV go bust twice?
I tell you who's selling physical media though. Morrison's, the supermarket Morrison's. I popped into one on Friday, and not for that. I just popped in to get some groceries, and I walked past the physical media aisle and thought, "Oh wow!" You know, like some of the new releases in there. Not a huge section, but I thought, "Oh, they're obviously still carrying on." But
Morrison's are few and far between. I mean, my closest Morrison's is probably about 5 miles away from me in London. Some, you know, it's a bit of a trot, but again, you know, there's a reason why you don't. You know, there's a reason why your charity shops don't want to take
DVDs.
Media. There's a reason why CEX offer you £1p per disc. There's a reason why you see less space given. There's a reason why you go into these ones up in London and downstairs it's all just front facing now and hardly anything in there. Because no one wants it.
To be fair, there are some CEX stores around the country that I've seen in this last week that have got full shelves. So,
oh yeah, I think there's certain areas, specific areas where, you know, but like I said, what was it? Thingy store, the Croydon store, downsized. They moved 2 doors down, literally 3 doors down from where they were, and reduced their shelf space. Yeah, reduced their floor size massively.
Right.
Because it was cheaper rent, and
Yeah.
it was, and you know, they downsized the shelving capacity for stuff. You know, it's
Is it
yeah.
all right if I interject? Sorry, I
Yeah.
need to go out for lunch now.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No. Sorry.
We're going to end it. Pretty much end it now, anyway. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. No. That's fine. I could imagine the wife's eyes are probably burning into the side of my head at this point.
So is my downstairs, probably.
Yeah. I want to just put a few comments up. I do apologise. There are quite a few comments that have come in, and we've just been chatting away. But
if he wants to.
Is that all right, guys? I don't.
If
I'm not doing it because AJ picked on me. It's all right.
Thanks so much for joining, Chris. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, thanks AJ.
The wife there? Is that the wife?
Yeah, that was the wife just coming in. So
yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Have a nice time, Chris.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, please go and visit Chris's channel. I will leave links in the description when I get round to it. But yeah, see you later.
Take it easy. See you later.
Yeah, I'll just put these up quickly, AJ. We've got Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. I hope you're still watching. There's Playing Down Under. He did say hello. Sorry, I'm really bad at looking at all these comments. There we go. Alan, Kermit's Ghost. Thanks for joining, Alan. Do apologise. Yeah, there are some. Oh, he says he doesn't monetize his channel, but YouTube still put forced adverts. Yes, they do on mine as well.
I said they do that. My channel's not monetized. They won't monetize me. They won't monetize me. So
yeah.
But yes, they put forced adverts. But I don't see why you don't monetize. Because if you're getting forced adverts, you might as well put those pennies into your pocket rather than theirs. That's the way I see that.
Yeah.
That's my take on that one.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
because they're making the money off of you, whereas you could be having a few. You know, if it gets you a few, you know, a release or two a month, then it gets you a release or two a month. It's better in your than theirs. That's why I see it. Because I always said that about yours, Matt. That they, you know, I used to see adverts on yours, didn't I? Ages back. I said you've got adverts. You're not monetized, so why not? You know, if you can monetize it.
They would. Can you not choose it though? Because you did monetize at one point, didn't you?
You can choose whether you put, you know, your videos are interrupted, and whether you just have it at the beginning and ends. You can choose.
Oh, there you go.
And when I was monetized, I would choose beginning and end. I didn't choose to interrupt.
No.
I think I did maybe once or twice, but you know, 95% of the time I chose not to interrupt video with an advert.
Mm.
But beginning and end, and if they're doing it anyway, they're doing it.
Well, there you go. So he didn't realise that. But like you say, I mean, you get good views on your videos, Alan. So why not? Like you say, you can put a bit of money back into collection.
That's it. That's what I say. It's not, you know, it's not like you're setting up a thingamajig, Patreon or anything like that.
No,
you're taking money for what they're doing anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, I always get to about 300 hours below the minimum that you can get. It always goes up and down, and I just think, well, I'm not really that fussed. But yeah. Oh, there you go. So cool. Do apologise to others that have left comments on here. I appreciate, you know, everyone. Few people have left now.
I've not even seen it. I've not even had the comments up, so I've not been able to.
No,
Yeah.
people have commented. I think we just got so engrossed in the conversation that.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This one for you, AJ. Chris, AJ, I watched Men last night. Any thoughts on that film? Oh God. Oh, dear, that. Yeah, that's one weird film. That is.
I hated the film. The thing is that Rory Kinnear, that's his name, isn't it? I think, who stars in it. He's a good actor. He's you know, he's got good comedic timing when he does comedy. He's good. You know, I mean, he played Frankenstein's monster in the TV series Penny Dreadful, and he brought such humanity to that character, to the monster. You know, he was amazing. Yeah, and then there's a film he's in with Simon Pegg and Lake Bell, and he's like this like weirdo Nancy kind of a guy who's like fancies her, and his comedy in it, his comedic timing is brilliant. You know, he's a really good theatrically trained actor as well, and he signed on for this film that wants to just bash men. That's what that film is, essentially, not just from the title, but the fact that, you know, it implies that we are all the same. Men are all the same, right? Which is why when you go into this town, this girl goes to this town, everyone's got the same face. Every man is the same person. Men throughout the, you know, the birthing scene at the end, which is discussed, just implies that generationally men are the same and don't change. I think it's a really, it's a horrid film. I hate it. I watched it. I saw. It's. I don't really like that folk horror type stuff. Right?
It's quite taste, definitely.
Yeah, and obviously it plays into paganism and all that sort of thing. It plays into that kind of that, and yeah, it's just not something that it doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth. You know, I tell you what, I go to my sister-in-law's, right, and I'm sat there in the garden, right, just a little anecdote, and they got these 4 things on the wall in their garden, and it's 4 faces surrounded by leaves, right, and they're quite creepy looking, right, but you know, they're obviously a pagan. I don't think they knew what they were, but each one represents a season. So there's 4 of them: winter, summer, spring, autumn, that sort of thing. And I just sit there and I look at these things and they just freak me out. That sort of stuff just it doesn't work for me at all. That folk paganism and all that. It just that's what that film is. But I just think it's a disgusting message. That film, honestly, we can't change. I'm the same as my father. I'm the same as my grandfather. I'm the same as my great-great-grandfather. My kids are going to be the same as me. Their kids are going to be the same as them, the same as me as I was to them again before. And that's what that film suggests. We're all the same. I'm the same as you. We're all the same as me, Matt. We're all the same person. We're all the same in the way we treat women, we treat in society. You know, we don't change. That's what that film is.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot to say about it. I hated it. I don't own it.
No, I won't ever watch it again.
For me, it's up there with something like Midsummer.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's another folk horror.
Yeah, they leave a nasty taste. I suppose in that sense, the film has worked on me in a sense.
Oh yeah, it certainly stuck with you.
Yeah, the film has left a lasting impression.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's done its job.
So it's done something right, but it's not a good impression. But it's left, rather than being just that's instantly forgettable.
Yeah.
What is that's instantly disgusting, so I'm going to remember it and never watch it again.
Yeah, I'd never watch it again.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Don't get me started on that film.
Oh, there we go. He says he's brilliant.
In what? What, in Men?
Oh, I think he means in in that film?
In the Penny Dreadful, the TV
It says
series.
Man Up.
Man Up, that's the film. That's the one. Yes, he's very funny. He's
Oh,
great.
Man Up is the film. I thought you
Yeah,
meant Man Up as in.
No, that's the film with Simon Pegg and actress called Lake Bell, who she voices Poison Ivy. She put Poison Ivy in the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy animated show. It's very funny.
Okay.
And Rory
Yeah,
Kinnear.
Stephen's saying A24.
They are A24 films. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't they do Civil War though?
They did
Which
this.
is a bit of yeah, that's not their typical genre, is it?
It's
I mean, I
not.
haven't seen the film,
But there's something distinctly A24. Although I like Civil War, there's something in its ingredient that is typical A24.
okay.
Can't pinpoint it with that one, but I know that I'm watching an A24 film.
Right. Okay.
And I can't put my finger to what it is.
I've not seen Men, AJ. Well, it's an acquired taste.
No, I mean,
yeah.
you might like it. You might like it. It's just,
yeah.
it's up to formulate their own opinion. I'm only.
Yeah. I mean, if you enjoyed, it's a folk horror film, isn't it? It's along the lines of Midsummer, if you've seen that. It's along the lines of The Wicker Man, I guess. Dealing with a lot of that paganism and.
Yeah, it's got more there's a certain sort of creature kind of thing in it, I suppose, that happened, and like I said, you got this, without spoiling it, you got this birthing scene at the end that's birthing over and over again, and it gets a bit silly, but it just implies that men are all the same and generationally, and that's the message I got from it anyway.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Well, to be honest, when I first came away from it, I just kind of turned to my wife and said, what was all that about? And she kind of said, I have no idea.
Every person.
I think I actually had to look it up to find out what actually that it was. And actually what you've said there, it pretty much was the definition of what they said on the internet.
In this town that she goes to, every man is played by Rory Kinnear. The child there has got Rory Kinnear's face.
Yeah.
It's all the same. It just implies that, there's no difference between any man. Every man's the same. Every man's the same, and generationally at the end, every man's the same. We don't change.
Yeah.
We're nasty. We're horrible. We're,
dinosaurs. Yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, but yeah, check it out and see what you think.
That's not a nice place to leave this conversation. I have to go about men. I don't mean I don't mean thinking about men like that, but that film, yes.
No, it's been a good stream. Yeah, I mean, we've run over a bit now. I know we started a bit late, but yeah, great having Chris on again. I thought we sort of discussed a few subjects that sort of mulling around my head.
I wasn't giving him a hard time about cinema. I respect his his loyalty to cinema. My point is simply that you've got these. It just seems like things are opposing one another.
Yeah,
I don't get,
totally.
I'm not.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I'm not. I don't get to the cinema too often. Life's just too busy, and it has been with the move and going back to work and all this sort of thing. And the two dogs, one being a puppy. Yeah. There's a lot going on, and certainly films that I would normally go and see at the cinema, I've said, I'll wait because I know that I'm going to be waiting long.
Yeah, well, it's the same with me. I mean, like I say, it's a half an hour drive to get to the cinema. And the cost of it, unless you go on a specific day. When I used to go on a Wednesday after work, it was quite convenient because it was on the way home from work, so it worked. as long as you could get the timing right. But they've now changed it, so it's only on a Monday and that's not very convenient because I don't go into the office every day. So it's got to be.
No, and
It's got to be a really good film
off,
for me to want to go to see it. You broke up then.
And the other thing that I find off-putting now is you don't. Sorry.
No, the screen froze. I can hear you.
Oh yeah. So did yours. The other thing that puts me off is I don't know what kind of audience I'm going to get.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, the people that are going to be there. You know, because you go at the wrong time, and people are just disrespectful now to other people. People don't care that you're wanting to watch a film. You know, you're there to watch a film. They'll talk. They just don't care. People don't care anymore. That's the you know, that's one of the big problems with it. Sorry, I've moved the room just because. That's one of the problems with it. People just don't care about other people now. So your cinema is spoiled unless you go at a time when no one else is going.
Yeah.
So I still go occasionally.
I like the cinema experience. It's you know, it's still, you know, because it grew up with it, and it's still a great experience to see. But it's got to be the right sort of film for me. You know, a Dune Part 2 or a big blockbuster. But a lot of these
Venom.
films now.
See, already Venom's tracking low. Yeah, the pre-sales for Venom tickets are tracking low. I've seen information. So Venom, you know, chances are, if that's tracking low and it's tracking lower than the other two Venom films, it's not going to do particularly well. And you'll probably see it. I know that you'll probably see that online in 4 to 5 weeks. Paint me like one French girl, said Jay. Titanic.
But you see, there's Gladiator 2 coming out, isn't there, in November? So, I mean, early.
He's saying that because I'm laying down.
Ah, right. I see what you mean. Yeah. I didn't get it to start with.
No, I get it.
It was right in my head. Gladiator 2. That might be one for the cinema. I don't know, but it's got to be it's got to be a special film to go and see some at the cinema these days for me. But
see, knowing that I probably will. My wife's away, so I probably will go see Venom actually, just to get me out of the house. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. It's been a great chat. Thanks everyone to tuning in and watching and commenting. Do apologise, didn't get to all the comments. We just got deep into conversation at times, but really appreciate it. We will be back at some point. I can't say when. Busy lives and all that, but we'll be back at some point, either on my channel or AJ's or even Chris. So,
absolutely.
Who's that? Brody?
That's Storm, the puppy.
Oh, Storm. She's grown big.
She has. Well, she's still quite small, but she ain't as big as Brody, but she's certainly grown, yes. Yeah. Cool. There we go. All right, then. Take it easy.
See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.